Good evening and welcome to Zodiac News with me, Twesa Takula. I'm glad you could join us. Here's a preview of some of our top stories tonight. Lilongwe vendors moved away from the streets to ply their trade along the Lilongwe River. Irish government pumps 500 million kwacha in relief aid for Malawi's flood victims. Blantyre conman slapped with 6-year jail term for impersonating a medical doctor. Malawi boys to fight against cancer as it joins the rest of the world in commemorating the World Cancer Day. These are some of our top stories tonight. Stay with us. After months of running battles with the police and city authorities, vendors who used to ply their trade along Lilongwe streets have been given space to erect their stores. The vendors have been given space along the Lilongwe River behind the Lilongwe Town Hall. Robert Kalua rushed to witness the partitioning of space for vendors and now reports.
After months of running battles with the police, all street vendors in the capital Lilongwe have finally been relocated in Area 1 behind Lilongwe City Town Hall. Excited vendors told ZBS Wednesday afternoon while building new kiosks that they are so grateful to government for giving them such a space to ply their trade on.
We are so grateful to government for giving us this place. We have been arrested so many times for plying trade in the streets, and for us to be released, we used to pay the sum of 5,000 kwacha, which is a lot to us.
I think we are now satisfied. Before, we used to fight with the police for being found in the streets. We used to lose out a lot with those fines we were paying just to get our goods back from the police.
We thank the City Council for this. We felt that we were losing the 5,000 kwacha that we used to pay after being arrested.
The vendors have, however, asked government to construct a proper drainage system for the Lilongwe River.
There is one thing we need to ask from government. If they could find a way of controlling the water from Lilongwe River, because sometimes during the rainy season it floods.
Lilongwe residents have for the past months complained to authorities to remove vendors in the streets of the city to reduce criminal activities during the business hours. For ZBS in Lilongwe, this is Robert Kalua.
The Irish government has provided 58 metric tons of non-food items worth over £500 million kwacha in response to the humanitarian crisis following flooding in parts of the country. Tadala Galidzira witnessed the arrival of the items on Tuesday at Kamuzu International Airport in Lilongwe. And now reports.
Different countries, which include South Africa, Japan, China and Zambia, have helped Malawi with relief items due to the floods which hit some districts in the country this year. On Tuesday, the Irish government mobilized an airlift of 58 metric tons of non-food items worth £500 million kwacha to assist some flood victims in the country. These non-food items include tents, blankets, mosquito nets and water tanks. Irish Ambassador to Malawi, Onya Hans, said the distribution exercise is expected to start Thursday. Hans said her partners will ensure that the items are delivered swiftly in the 3 targeted districts, namely Msanje, Chikwawa and Palombe.
Ireland has been involved here in Malawi with the bilateral aid programme for over 7 years, and we have a very good relationship and very good empathy with the Malawian people. As part of our ongoing programme here, we're also working in resilience programmes, which allows to assist the communities in Malawi to actually build up a resistance to these disasters and to allow them to get themselves back up on their feet. But obviously this is a major humanitarian disaster, so we need to do a little bit extra. And yes, I would like to say that President Higgins, who visited here last November, has written to President Mutharika expressing his condolences on the recent disaster, and this is a follow-on to show solidarity between the Irish people and the Malawian people as well.
The President of Ireland, Michael D. Higgins, visited Malawi in November last year. For Zodiac News, this is Tadala Galidzira.
Transport wars have resurfaced in Bangula and the East Bank and in Nsanje after floods washed away entire Moyo Bridge at Chiromo. The €2 million bridge, constructed in April last year, was the only link between Bangula, Makanga and Fatima. Nsanje District Commissioner Harry Piri says the problem will negatively impact on the district's economic activities as delivery of food items between Bangula and Makanga through Chiromo has now become a challenge. Mr. Piri added that the District Health Office is struggling to deliver medical supplies to health facilities such as Makanga, Masenjeri and Trinity Mission Hospital, as the alternative route, the Tabwa-Fatima Road, is also in bad shape. A Blantyre court has sentenced convicted bogus doctor Wongani Kumbukani Kandulu to 6 years in prison. Passing judgment on Wednesday, the magistrate observed that Kandulu's conduct posed serious danger to the life of people. Grace Kombe reports.
Last year, on October 27, people were shocked to learn that Wongani Kumbukani Kandulu has been working at Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital as a medical doctor for some time, up to an extent of discharging some patients. He was arrested, and upon questioned by the police, he disclosed that he was a fourth-year medical student at the College of Medicine, which the registrar of the college denied. According to report, the genuine female Dr. Kandulu worked as an intern at the hospital from 2006 to 2011 when he was a student at the college, and later on full employment until March 2013. The state paraded 8 witnesses in the case after he was pleaded not guilty to all charges of personating a public officer, contrary to Section 99 of the Penal Code, and personating a registered personnel, or misrepresentation, contrary to Section 66 of the Medical Practitioners and Dentists Act. On Monday, presiding magistrate Principal Resident Innocent Nebi told the court that will pass his judgment on Tuesday morning, as he was yet to finalize it. Last week, the same court sentenced the Form 2 dropout and the shoe vendor John Ben Kamanga to 6 years imprisonment with hard labor on similar offense. Kamanga, who was posing as Dr. Dziwani Mofriwa, was arrested at Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital 2 weeks after the arrest of Wongani Kandulu. For Zodiac in Blantyre, this is Grace Kombe.
Malawi remains resilient in the fight against the spread of cancer in the country. Director of Non-Communicable Diseases in the Health Ministry, Dr. Beatrice Lydia Magomba, told Zodiac as the country joins the world in commemorating the World Cancer Day. The day is celebrated annually on 4th February to deepen our understanding of the killer disease. Dr. Magomba explains.
I would say that we've been managing cancers all along, but the fight reached its peak when, as a country in 2010, a survey was done, and we realized how big this problem is, and the ministry decided to include cancer as one of the priority conditions within the essential health package. So I would say that the current health strategic plan, health sector strategic plan, includes cancer control as one of the priority issues that the ministry is looking into, or that government is looking into. And since then, we have tried to improve the treatment within the country. We do know that previously we didn't have any public oncologist, but now for the first 2 years we had only one. Now we have a third one. We have a second one. So we have 2 oncologists that are on site, and we know we are waiting a third oncologist to join this team soon. So in terms of treatment, at least we have 1 or 2 established units that are treating cancer at Central Hospital and Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital. But our plan is that all central hospitals should have isolated places called cancer units where patients can be managed, patients can be followed up, apart from waiting for the establishment of a national cancer hospital.
Dr. Beatrice Lydia Magomba, Director of Non-Communicable Diseases in the Health Ministry. A reminder that you're watching the news on Zodiac Television live from our studios in Lilongwe. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back. Before we proceed, a look at our main stories. Lilongwe vendors given space to ply trade along the Lilongwe River. Irish government pumps 500 million kwacha in relief aid. Blantyre, a man slapped with 6-year jail term for impersonating a medical doctor. Malawi boisterous fight against cancer as it joins the world in commemorating the World Cancer Day. Let's now move to international news. Jordan has executed 2 convicts, including a female jihadist, following the killing of one of the Air Force pilots by Islamic State militants. Officials say both Iraqi nationals were hanged at dawn on Wednesday. Jacqueline Khema has more in this BBC report.
The woman-failed suicide bomber Sajida al-Rishawi and al-Qaeda operative Ziad Kabori, both Iraqi nationals, were hanged at dawn, according to officials. The executions came hours after Islamic State posted a video appearing to show pilot Muaz al-Kasasbe being burned live. He was seized after crashing during an anti-Islamic mission over Syria in December. Jordan had attempted to secure the pilot's release in a swap involving Rishawi. She had been on death row for her role in attacks in the capital, Amman, that killed 60 people in 2005.
The International Monetary Fund has agreed to make loans of around $700 million available to Kenya. The money will be used as an insurance policy to protect against any threats to the country's economy, considered a financial powerhouse in East Africa. Let's now move to sports news. Kamuzu Barracks have downplayed assertions by the Big Bullets that they have secured a loan deal for their midfielder Haven Nkacha. Bullets officials last weekend told the media that they have been given a go-ahead to register Nkacha after talks with the Malawi Defence Force Lieutenant Keno Francis Kakudabanda explains.
What I can say right now is that as for Haven Nkacha, he's not going. The first reason is that he doesn't want to go and play for Big Bullets. And for Gaston Sinkonda, that he's engaged with other official duties. So because of those 2 reasons, they cannot go and play for Big Bullets. Those were rumors, and I think to us, baseless. I think also what we need to ask ourselves now is that, is it allowed for a player to play for 2 teams during a season? Are we following the rules or procedures of the football game? To us, I think we are not doing that. It's not us who are supposed to allow them. Actually, it was the ones who wanted them to join Big Bullets. We never wanted our players to go and play for Big Bullets, but I think Big Bullets wanted our players. And if Big Bullets wanted our players, they were actually supposed to follow the rules and the procedures and to make sure that everything, I think, is ethical. This is the same message that Haven Nkacha is not going to Big Bullets, and Gaston Sinkonda as well.
MDF spokesperson Lieutenant Keno Francis Kakudabanda. Ivory Coast take on DR Congo in the Africa Cup of Nations semi-final, hoping Africa's most expensive footballer, Wilfred Bony, can continue his goal-scoring exploits from the last round. Bony scored twice. Have Reynolds' side booked their plates in the last 4 of the competition after seeing off Algeria 3-1 on Sunday night. Details with Mike Bango.
Cote d'Ivoire will field a formidable attacking lineup and start as favourites to beat the Democratic Republic of Congo in the Africa Cup of Nations semi-final tonight. Manchester City's new signing Wilfred Bony, who scored 2 key goals in the 3-1 win over top-ranked Algeria in Sunday's quarter-final, will lead the forward line with Gervinho and Max Gradel in what is expected to be an explosive display of Ivorian potential. Both countries will miss midfield muscle, with Cheick Tiote out of the Ivory Coast team and captain Youssouf Mulumbu absent for the Congolese. The Ivorians, however, are notorious vulnerable in defence, as DR Congo showed when they'd secured a shock 4-3 win in Abidjan in a qualifying match in October. Hosts Equatorial Guinea and Ghana play in the second semi-final in Malawi on Thursday, with the final taking place on Sunday. Meanwhile, the referee for Tunisia's Africa Cup of Nations' last 8 defeat has been banned for 6 months by the Confederation of African Football. Equatorial Guinea were awarded a controversial penalty in stoppage time, and they went on to beat Tunisia 2-1. Tunisia staff confronted the official Rajendra Prasad Sekuni after the match, and their football federation has been fined $50,000. CAF also wants an apology from Tunisia for accusations of bias. Tunisia have also been ordered to pay for damages to a door and a refrigerator in the team's dressing room at Bata Stadium. Sekuni has also been removed from CAF's list of elite referees.
That's how we wrap up tonight's edition of the news. But before I sign out, another look at some of our major stories. Lilongwe vendors moved away from the streets to ply their trade along the Lilongwe River. Irish government pumps 500 million kwacha in relief aid for Malawi's flood victims. Blantyre conman slapped with 6-year jail term for impersonating a medical doctor. Malawi boisterous fight against cancer as it joins the world in commemorating the World Cancer Day. Well, it's on that note, it's time to say goodbye. I am Twesa Takula, thanking you for being there. Thanks for watching and good night.